Now, the generational divide is almost as dramatic as the divide between the sexes. This morning, we plan to tackle both in a new segment we like to call G-Gap.
On one side of the fence, radio broadcaster Mike Jeffries. On the other, social commentator Maud Garrett. Although I'd like to think there are not two sides of the fence.
Oh, we'll see.
Rather that we're both mowing the same lawn, just Mike's doing it with a push me, pull you, and Maud's on a ride.
Well, thank you so much for that image, yes.
Let's start with the Alan Jones affair. He's, of course, under fire for this morning for claiming that the PM's dad, who recently died of shame because his daughter's such a liar. Now, Mike, you worked with Alan. Were you in any way surprised to hear what he said?
Well, yes, because I think it's just loony. It's just a stupid thing to say. And in the chess game of public relations, it works for the Prime Minister. It doesn't work for Alan Jones. Though Alan has said things in the past that haven't attracted attention outside his immediate audience. So in the scheme of things, is this going to make too much difference to the people who listen to him? I think that's the question. But did he do the right thing in saying it? Absolutely not. And up to this point, I thought actually the shock jocks were kind of shock jocks 3, Prime Ministers 0, but not today.
Yeah, sure.
Maud, he said this at a young Liberal event. These were to young people. What was your reaction to what he said?
It's kind of funny. Obviously, this was like, in his sort of, I guess, mind, a private conversation, something that wasn't media televised, something that he was saying and kind of giving the Liberals a one-up, going, yeah, camaraderie, I'm on your side, this is what we need to do. And it's kind of funny, a lot of points in that particular meeting that he said doesn't ring true to me, per se, because he was saying that there was brainwashing involved, and he was saying that, you know, the media is portraying Julia in a light because she's a woman, and, you know, that everything's getting brainwashed, and then made that comment. And I think he kind of didn't really have any response or reaction to what he was saying because he didn't think that it would get out of that room.
Yes.
But of course there was media that had bought a ticket there, recording devices, there's Twitter, hello. As soon as it was said, it was like, brum, broadcast out there. And I think he's like,
it does
you've got to
show
watch what you say.
a lack of understanding about the modern media environment, doesn't it? Mike, you know, Alan is a person who likes to hold himself up as an arbiter or a paragon of, as his great mate, the Prime Minister, John Howard, used to say, right-thinking people.
Yes.
And therefore a kind of, you know, a defender of, you know, our democratic principles and whatnot. It does seem that people like Alan have been primarily responsible for turning political debate into a personal brawl.
Which is a real mistake.
Yeah, but I mean, certainly people across the generations must be thoroughly sick and tired of the mode of debate that we have currently.
Well, yeah, what debate? I mean, it happens so often. Categorise your opponent and then play the man, not the ball. That's really a mistake. Let's stick to the issues here. That would make more sense. But I think Alan has significantly devalued himself with this. However, he's not going to face the regulator unless he repeats what he said on the radio tomorrow morning. The other interesting thing, of course, is even though the Twitterverse is saying, we're shocked, we're horrified, will people tune in tomorrow to hear the train wreck?
Yeah.
Yes, and you mentioned they will. Listen, moving right along, this is my favourite story of the week. Hong Kong tycoon Cecil Chow.
Oh, Cecil Chow. He's a terrific bloke.
He's offered $62.2 million as a reward to the man who can woo his daughter Gigi. Now, the catch is that Gigi is a lesbian who recently wed her long-term girlfriend, and Gigi says she's touched by her dad's actions and has been inundated with offers. Maud, should she be touched or offended?
This is horrific. This is a man saying, I love my daughter so much, I want the best for her. And being a lesbian isn't the best for her, so not only will I try and encourage her to become straight, which is something she'll never be, but I'm going to put a $62 million price tag on the man that can give her this love.
It's a dowry.
It's shocking, and it's so backwards thinking. And you know what, like, I just think that the people have inundated her with YouTube messages and, you know, proposals. The whole thing's false and terrible. Like, whoever would accept that is just saying, I'm in it for the money, and I know you'll never love me, and let's face it, I'm a man, which is something that you're not after. The father needs to kind of look at the big picture here. Yes, the daughter's a lesbian, and that's not a bad thing at all. She's happy, she's been in a 7-year relationship, and check it out, her wife kind of looks like a man anyway, and her name's Sean. So if he said nothing...
Her name's Sean?
And her name is Sean. If she said nothing, if he said nothing at all...
I'm so glad you said that and Mike didn't.
Well, that's fantastic, I love it.
You know, I asked around on this, I asked a woman I know who's got a lesbian daughter about the same age. She was horrified. I asked another woman who has a wealthy male friend who married a lesbian. Didn't really work out. You know, it's kind of the Seinfeld thing. You think you've got them over to your team, but actually the other team understands them better. Then I spoke to a young lady who pursues the, as they say, bisexual lifestyle. And she looked at the photos and said, well, looking at the partner, part of her still wants a man.
Yeah.
So maybe...
So it's what Maud's saying, in a
Indeed.
sense.
So maybe it's not a totally lost cause for the father.
Oh.
And the fact is, the guy's, well, she's touched, you know? Hey, 76, maybe she's going to say, let's do it for daddy.
Regardless of his outmoded views on lesbianism, I mean, his outmoded views on women are incredible.
Yeah,
His daughter is his to sell for $62 million.
The whole thing is
it's
disgusting.
It's disgustingly misogynistic.
You don't kill the biological urge. You know Elton John married Renata Blow, right? You remember that? Well, maybe you don't. It was
I think he was
1994.
attracted to the surname.
No, he actually says he loved her and he would have liked to have stayed with her, but he was gay. But
that can happen.
I remember when that happened. I was in Melbourne. There's a big gay scene there, and a couple of the gay guys, you know, I'm talking adults here, 32. You know, their mothers were saying, "Look, Elton's got past this silly homosexual thing. Why don't you find a girl and get married?"
Right.
So I don't know if you can ever kill the biological urge
Oh dear.
to have a grandkid.
Mike, you have some very interesting friends. Some very interesting stories.
That's Melbourne for you.
Yeah, Melbourne scene. We have to leave it there, but that was great. We love that segment.
Oh, we're looking
See you
forward
next
to
week.
G-Gen next week. Thank you, Maud. Thank you, Mike.
G-Gap.
Sorry,
G-Gap.
is that what it is? G-Gap.
Mind the gap.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, G-Gap. Yeah. Sounds like an undergarment.